Do you want to avoid diabetes? Do you want to keep your liver healthy? Do you want to slow down aging? The answer is simple. Limit free sugars to less than 10% of total energy. Ideally less than 5%, which is about 25 grams or less for adults. Why is this necessary? This slide explains everything. When you consume excessive free sugars, your blood glucose rises repeatedly. Insulin is secreted in large amounts over and over. When combined with excess energy and weight gain, the risk of insulin resistance increases. When fructose intake is high, it exceeds the small intestine's processing capacity. It goes straight to the liver, promoting fat production. Fatty liver develops. Advanced glycation end products, AGEs, affect your blood vessels and tissues. They're involved in the aging process. They're also associated with elevated inflammatory markers. This is knowledge accumulated through extensive evidence over the past decade of research. It consistently shows that diets high in added sugars, especially sugar-sweetened beverages, are associated with metabolic risk. And this is achievable. Avoid sugar-sweetened beverages. Replace sweets with fruit. This protects your metabolism. Today I'll show you the scientific evidence. Let's see what sugar does to your body. When you consume excessive free sugars, your blood glucose rises repeatedly. Your pancreas secretes insulin. This happens multiple times every day. When combined with excessive energy intake and weight gain, your cells become less responsive. Insulin receptors become desensitized. Your pancreas tries to secrete even more insulin. Eventually, beta cell function declines. Insulin resistance. A 2010 study reported that the group consuming 1 to 2 sugar-sweetened beverages daily had approximately 26% higher diabetes risk. Type 2 diabetes involves many factors including obesity, physical activity, and genetics, in addition to insulin resistance and beta cell dysfunction. How much free sugar are you consuming per day right now? Next, let's talk about fructose. Fructose has a different metabolic pathway than glucose. In appropriate amounts, it's metabolized in the small intestine, converted to glucose and other compounds. But what happens when intake is high? It exceeds the small intestine's processing capacity. Fructose goes straight to the liver. And what happens in your liver? Lipogenesis, a process called DNL, is promoted. Triglycerides accumulate. Fatty liver. It becomes a risk factor for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD. The problem is that added sugars are easy to consume in large quantities through liquids. One soda contains tens of grams of sugar. It varies by product, but about half is fructose. If you drink this every day, the burden on your liver is significant. This is the long-term effect of sugar. Advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Advanced glycation end products. They're formed when sugars bind to proteins. In hyperglycemic states, production in the body increases. They can also increase in foods during heat cooking. AGEs cross-link collagen in your body. Tissues become stiff. They affect vascular endothelium. The RAGE receptor-mediated inflammatory pathway is activated. The association with atherosclerosis is being researched. They tend to be elevated, especially in conditions like diabetes, and associations with cardiovascular disease risk have been reported. In hyperglycemic states, age accumulation progresses more easily. Excessive sugar consumption is linked to long-term health risks. Sugar also affects your inflammation levels. High sugar diets and weight gain can be associated with elevated inflammatory markers. CRP, C-reactive protein, for example. However, the amount of change varies greatly among individuals. It changes significantly with body fat and overall dietary patterns. Chronic inflammation is involved in immune function and disease risk. And sugar also acts on your brain. It stimulates the dopamine reward system, pleasure. Foods high in sugar stimulate the brain through pathways similar to addictive substances. With repeated consumption, it can contribute to difficulty stopping. However, equating it with drug addiction requires caution, as individual differences and food environment influences are significant. Sugar has a physiological attractiveness. Understanding this is the first step toward countermeasures. So, are all sugars a problem? No, they're not. Natural sugars and free sugars are different. Consider the fructose contained in fruit. It's consumed together with dietary fiber. Vitamins and minerals are also included. Dietary fiber slows the absorption of sugars. Blood glucose rise is gradual. Insulin spikes are less likely to occur. On the other hand, what about free sugars? Added sugars, honey, syrups, sugars from fruit juices. They're consumed alone. Rapidly absorb. Blood glucose spikes sharply. Insulin spike, metabolic stress. WHO recommends less than 10%, ideally less than 5%. This refers to free sugars. Natural sugars in fruit are not included. However, 100% fruit juice is treated as free sugar. You need to be careful about excessive consumption. Eating a whole apple is good. Drinking soda should be avoided. Understand this difference. So how do you reduce free sugars? There are 5 steps. First, eliminate sugar-sweetened beverages completely. Replace them with water, tea, or black coffee. This alone can eliminate 30 to 40 grams of sugar per day. Pay attention to this. The latest WHO guidelines don't recommend replacing with diet soda or other artificial sweeteners either. Water or tea is best. Second, change your snacks. Instead of sweets, eat whole fruit. Nuts and unsweetened yogurt are also good. Third, check food labels. Look at the added sugar labeling. Choose products with less added sugar. Fourth, be creative in cooking. Instead of sugar, use spices. Cinnamon, vanilla essence, lemon. Flavor becomes rich. Sugar decreases. Fifth, continue for 2 weeks. Your taste perception changes. Dependence on sweetness decreases. You become satisfied with natural sweetness. This isn't just a dietary change. It's a strategy to protect your metabolism. Now, let's organize today's key points. Today's summary. First, limit free sugars. Think of the goal in 2 stages. First, reduce free sugars to less than 10% of total energy. This is WHO's strong recommendation. If possible, aim for less than 5%, about 25 grams or less for adults. This is a conditional recommendation with potential for additional health benefits. This reduces insulin resistance risk, lightens the burden on your pancreas, and manages diabetes risk. Second, avoid excessive fructose intake, especially large liquid consumption through sugar-sweetened beverages. When intake is high, it exceeds the small intestine's processing capacity, and the burden on the liver becomes significant. This prevents fatty liver, maintains liver function, and manages triglycerides. Third, avoid hyperglycemic states. By suppressing AH accumulation, you reduce effects on blood vessels and tissues and manage long-term health risks. What will you change today? Will you replace sugar-sweetened beverages with water? Will you change sweets to fruit? Share your strategy in the comments. Thanks for watching until the end today. Understanding the relationship between sugar and metabolism is your first step toward health. On this channel, we explore the mechanisms of the human body and the science of health. We illuminate your path to health with evidence, not emotion, with science, not trends. Subscribe to the channel, and let's learn the truth about the body together next time. Until next time.